There was
Yeah.
another one that we had the privilege to be able to see at home, but is in
Ooh.
theaters right now before it comes wide on Apple TV Plus, and that is a movie that I didn't understand when I saw the trailer during the World Series, and I was like, wait, they're doing a Scrooge, but it's not really Scrooge. It's a musical about the ghosts of Christmas past who have been
Yeah.
reformed, meaning that it's not the ghost that came to Scrooge. Nah, this is in the future when Scrooge is one of the three who's going to try to find the next person who needs to be reformed. But what happens when, one, you find a person who may be unreformable, or two, you may be looking at your past and wondering, why am I still here trying to reform other people? Should Scrooge retire at this point? He's like a pastor. He's like Father Stu. He's converted and he's come to a point where he just wants to sin again or something. He just wants to feel human once more. And you have performances over here by Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds. Like I said, it's also a musical and it's over 2 hours long. I did not have my chips in the favor for this movie. And there are points in this movie where it really doesn't work. And it was all right by the end.
Yeah. I mean, it's
What?
kind of not the worst.
It's like you want to hate it, don't you? Like I wrote so many things to hate it, and then I'll just be like, it's killing time. It's not bad.
Yeah, like, first of all, Will Ferrell tends to take a lot of these comedies that, like, I love Will Ferrell. He's one of the most gifted comedic actors we have. But he does take a lot of just sort of bland, uninteresting stuff, and it, especially pairing him with Ryan Reynolds, the king of putting himself in bland, uninteresting stuff, you kind of just get a vibe that this movie is like slapped together and not really like a genuine
Made?
Yeah, there's no like passion behind it. It's kind of like, well, Apple TV Plus needs a Christmas movie. But I think one of the big things this movie has in its favor is that the music is written by Pasek and Paul, who I'm hit or miss on, but when they hit,
Okay.
I like them a lot.
What they do?
I'm pretty sure these are the La La Land guys, aren't they?
Oh, are they? That's a pretty good, pretty good crew to get.
Let me double check that before I put out. Yeah, they did La La Land, but they've also, on the other hand, they did Dear Evan Hansen, so it's not exactly a sterling track record there.
Somewhere in the middle right here for this one.
Exactly. Yeah, there are some songs that are pretty good. I do like the Good Afternoon song, and I think one of the things is, on the one hand, they've chosen a couple leads in Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, as well as Octavia Spencer, who just don't really have the singing voices to pull off this kind of musical theater. But on the other hand, the songs are mostly charming enough that they're able to just be warm and fun. There's one song in particular where that plays over the credits where I feel like Will Ferrell is doing a good job of sort of making it silly how much he's not suited to that kind of singing style. I wish they leaned more into that kind of stuff. But there's some good jokes here and there. I'd say it's like a maybe 25% hit miss record on the jokes, and that was enough. I thought it's fine, not necessarily like the best thing to watch, but an easygoing holiday movie. I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't dislike it the way I anticipated I would.
I guess to me it's because I hold Alf to such a high regard that I know what he's capable of,
Right.
So because of that, I see this and I go like, okay, looks fine, looks cute. But there was one point where I'm just looking at them and I'm just thinking, Vin Diesel and The Rock counted punches.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like these two count punchlines. But it's all right. It's going to be on Apple TV Plus next week. I think that's the perfect way to watch it.
Yeah.
This playing in the background, considering that a whole just segment will be a 5-minute musical number, is
Right.
the perfect thing to just have playing during the holidays. So,
And I will give it two more things. It's not
you're going to say
nearly
2 more
shot-
stars? I'm like, damn.
No. It's not nearly as well shot as, for example, Spielberg's West Side Story, but I like that they actually, will present the dancing. They'll pull out. You can see the ensemble. It's not so close that they've just sort of reduced it all to background noise. That's a plus in its favor. And then also the story. You mentioned how it's kind of a weird setup. I was pretty I was pretty like bothered by how weird and like it felt like it's trying too hard to modernize A Christmas Story, and then as it went along, like it actually had some surprising twists and turns to it. So I got into the story more than I expected to. So it's a movie that was off-putting at the start and won me over. So I guess that's another credit in its favor.
That's a credit for sure. So catch this one in theaters right now or next week on Apple TV Plus.